Yeah, so can someone tell me what do we mean by availability set and zone?
In single data center, we can make our application highly available.
Okay.
Availability zone means all regions won't be have available future availability in future. So as you're having more than, like for example, 50 to 60 regions.
Yeah. Okay. So the basic difference between availability set and availability zone is availability set provides us a rack level failure. Okay, if something happens at the rack level, availability set will be able to manage those failures. Like if there is some power failure or internet failure at the rack level, it will be able to, availability set will be able to manage that. And it is providing us 99.95% of SLA. Okay. Although it is providing us good SLA, but it is not providing us data center level failure. Okay. If something happens at the data center only, if your whole data center is impacted due to some earthquake, due to some flood, or due to any natural calamities or anything, so it won't protect you for the data center level failure. But when it comes to availability zone, it provides us the redundancy. Okay, it provides us the redundancy at the region level. Okay, so in a single region we will have three data center. I'm yeah, previously also I told not all the regions will have the availability zone option. Okay, so some specific regions will have this availability zone options, and with the this option, what feature we are getting is in a single region we are having three data centers. Okay, minimum three data centers we are having in a single region. So what happens is we can have three copies of data. Okay, in zone, like in data center 1, in a single region data center 1 we can have first copy of data. In second data center in a same region we can have second copy of data, and in third data center within the same region we can have our third copy of data. Okay, we are storing the same data in three different data center in a single region in availability zone. Okay, so what happens is like if something happens to data center 1, okay, if something like earthquake happened, flood happened at the data center 1, so I will have another two copies of my data available at my data center 2 and data center 3. Okay, and data center 1, 2 and 3 are separated by some distance. Okay, it is not like in a single place, or in Hyderabad only we will have data center 1, 2 and 3. Okay, it will have some distance. Okay, like suppose 50 kilometer, 60 kilometer, or 100 kilometer, or maybe 200 kilometer also. So they will be separated by some distance to provide us redundancy. Okay, is it clear? These questions will be asked in the interview. I'm telling you again and again. Okay, so prepared. Okay, so now let's come to our practical. How do we make availability set and how do we make availability zone? Okay, so let's delete the resources which are there. So let's delete the resource group only. Okay, so we can delete the resources at resource group level. So what it will do now, it will delete all the underlying resources, which suppose if we are creating under resource group 1, if we are creating 10 resources. Okay, so if we delete lab 1 only now, it will delete all the underlying resources that we have created within the resource group lab 1. Okay, so this is a better way of deleting the resource. Okay, you don't have to go inside like all the VMs and delete it individually. You can just come to the resource group, and you just need to select the resource group, and you can simply delete this. And guys, I'm telling you again and again, just after the labs, try to delete the resources. Okay, because for everything we are getting charged on Azure. Okay, nothing is free on the cloud. We are getting charged on per minute basis.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we can't delete all resource groups in one time.
Yeah, that also we can do. I think for that now we'll have to go at the subscription level. Okay, so what we can do is we can go to our subscription. Okay, and we need to select our subscription, and then we need to go to resource groups. Okay, from here. No, no, no. Actually, that won't be possible. No, this won't be possible. If we delete at the because the hierarchy is now like if you are creating any resource on Azure, okay, let's take the example only. Like suppose if we are creating a virtual machine only, first thing that we are selecting is subscription. Okay, and the another thing is resource group, and under resource group we are creating the resource. Okay, so all the resources we are which you are creating, that first gets tagged to the resource group and then to the subscription. Okay, so if suppose if you are making 10 resource within resource group 1, so all the 10 resources will firstly get tagged to resource group 1. Okay, and it will be tagged to subscription also. But the thing is like if all the resources which you are making under your subscription, suppose as your subscription one, all the resource group will be tagged to it. But the problem is if you go on and delete the subscription only, na, so you won't be able to use the portal only. Okay, because subscription is used for the billing purpose. Okay, and if you delete at the subscription level, you will lose access to your account, Azure account. Okay, so you can delete at the resource group level only, maximum. These things actually we will see. Okay, our upcoming topic is Microsoft Intra ID only. There we will see the hierarchy, how to give the access and everything. No, that will be giving you more clarity. Okay. Okay. Now, now let's go and yeah. Firstly we'll start with availability set, and then we'll go for availability zone. Okay. So Let's start creating our virtual machine. Resource group we don't have. Okay, so let's create a resource group. Virtual machine name. Okay, for today we will use Linux VMs. Okay, so let's take Linux VM 1. And reason for our practical, it's better to go for East US because everything will be available in East US region. Okay, all the virtual machine sizes, all the operating system, everything will be available over here. Okay, so we'll stick to East US. And now, previously, I always told you to go for this no infrastructure redundancy required option. Okay, so what previously we just used to deploy a single machine. Okay, we were not going with the availability options, redundancy options. Okay, so previously we were going with just one server. Now we are trying to achieve redundancy. Okay, to make our server or services, or you can say data, highly available. So we have the option of three options we have: zone, virtual machine scale set, and availability set. Okay, so for now let's stick with availability set option. Okay, now we don't have any availability set created. Okay, if we click on this drop down, we don't get any. So what we will have to do then, we'll have to create a new availability set. Yeah, so we can name it as availability set 01. Yeah, see, fault domains and update domains. Availabilities in availability set, we have fault domain and update domain. Fault domain is used for the fault domain is for any unplanned outage. If there is some rack power failure at the rack, if there is some hardware failure at the rack, and if there is some uh, internet shutdown at the rack, okay, so it will be fault domain use will be useful for, yeah, for them. So fault domain, how many we can take? We can take minimum as one and maximum as three. Okay, so minimum is one and maximum is three. So what do you think? Shall we take the one? If we
Yes.
take, okay, but if we take one, na, it won't be of any use for us. Okay, so how we will make our data, or you can say server, highly available if we are going with one fault domain only? If we are placing our server just on one rack, how it will make our data highly available? Okay, so at least we should go for two. Okay, okay, let's go from here only. Okay, so at least we should go for two, so that our same data gets placed in two different racks. Okay, one server in rack 1, another server in rack 2. Okay, if something happens at the rack 1, at least we have rack 2. Okay, it will serve our purpose. Okay, now coming to update domain. So update domain is used for what? It is for carrying the maintenance activity, or you can say any patching or update activity. It- and it is performed by the Azure, Microsoft Azure. Okay, so what is obviously behind the scenes, or you can say in the back end, all the server, all the services, or if you are storing some data only, it get stored on some set of hardware. Okay, and hardware requires maintenance. Okay, it will require maintenance time to time. So Microsoft will have to upgrade their hardware, or you can say upgrade their power facilities, internet supplies, and everything. So they and Microsoft, they don't update all the update domains at once. Okay. So if you are placing your server, suppose if you are placing your first server on update domain 1, and your second server on your update domain 2. Okay. So what Microsoft is providing us is they won't be maintaining, or they won't be performing any update activity on all the update domains at once. Okay. So how they will perform on over this weekend, over on Saturday or Sunday, they will perform maintenance activity on update domain 1, and on next Saturday and Sunday they will perform the activity maintenance activity on update domain 1, update domain 2. Okay. So in this way, what Azure is providing you is, okay, if you are availing this availability set feature, and if you are setting the update domain to at least 2, your workload, your server or your data will remain available. Okay. If there is some maintenance activity also, it will remain available. So for any failure or for any incident, it will be available, and for maintenance activity also it will remain available. So we are accomplishing both. Okay. So update domain, how many we can select? We can select minimum as one, but one is of no use. Okay. One, if you are selecting one and Azure is performing maintenance activity on that particular rack only, so your data won't be highly available then. Okay. So at least you should go for two, three. That depends on the organization, how many they want to go for, but at least we should go for two. Okay. So let's take three for now. Okay. Okay. So our availability set is created now. Yeah, security type, we are not discussing security now. We are concentrating on availability set only. So for other options, we'll take default only. Okay, let's take standard one. And let's go with Ubuntu server. Okay, this size is currently not available, so we can go for, let's see. Okay, we can go for, okay, okay, let's go with this one only. Okay. Okay. So authentication type we can take SSH also. This we'll discuss. Okay. For now, let's concentrate on availability set. Okay. SSH, since it is a Linux machine, we need to allow SSH, and HTTP. Let's allow this also. Disk. Okay. We are not dealing with this now. Networking. So here we need to keep an eye. Okay. Okay. I will just take an image. Otherwise, this will create problem for us. Yeah. So in availability set, we need to make our machines part of the same virtual network. Okay. So see, this virtual machine, our virtual machine 1 is part of virtual machine 1 is part of which VNet? Linux VM01 VNet. Okay. So while making the like second machine also now, we need to make the second machine part of this VM1, this VNet only. Okay. So yeah, we are not dealing with networking. That's why I'm not showing you how to create a virtual network. That is a completely different topic, and that is our upcoming topic. So let's go with the default options. Let's create it. Now, now we will have to create another virtual machine. Okay, since we are using this availability set feature, okay, let's see whether this machine is created or not. Okay, it's still in progress. It is status is creating. Okay, it takes some time actually. It sure takes some time. Yeah, now it is in running state. Okay, so now let's create a second virtual machine. So now why we are creating a second virtual machine? Okay, let's let's come to paint. What we are basically doing in availability set, this is our suppose east US region. We have selected which region? East US region. Okay, East US region. And in East US region, within a single data center, what we are doing? We are basically, suppose this is my rack 1, okay, and this is my rack 2, okay. So what we are basically doing, we are placing our first server over here, okay, and second server over here, okay, to overcome the challenge of rack level failure. If there is any rack level failure, okay, so to overcome that, we are placing our first server on the rack 1 and the second server, okay, which is exactly the copy of the first server on the second rack, okay. So we will have to create another virtual machine for this. Now coming over here, what do you think? We should create a new resource group or we can take the same resource group? Can someone tell me? Susma?
I think same resource.
Yeah, yeah, good. Actually, this availability set option is bound to resource group. Okay, you can't use different resource group and take this availability set feature. Okay, if you have to use this availability set feature in your Azure environment, you will have to compulsorily take the same resource group. Okay, let's see. If we take the RG01 that we have created, okay, in which we have created our availability set in resource RG01 resource group. Okay, if we select this and if we select the availability set option, okay, let's see what happens. So here we are getting this option, okay, to select that availability set. And if suppose if we are taking the another subscription, network watcher, and this resource group will be created by default. Okay, and if we go then if we go for the availability set, do we get that option? No, we are not getting. So remember this. This is a very like a very important interview question. Okay, availability set is bound to your resource group. Okay, now let's name this virtual machine as Linux VM02 because this is our second virtual machine. Reason. Now coming to reason, is it regional? Is it there is some regional boundary also, or we can take another reason also? Can you tell me, Sandhya? Can we take another reason while creating second virtual machine?
In the same region, if we have multiple data centers, now in that we can take. So we cannot take another region.
Yeah, obviously we will have to stick with the same reason because availability set provides us the redundancy in the same region and in the same data center also. Okay, we can't take another data center also. It is in the same data center. Okay, so if it is in the same data center, obviously it will be regional. There will be regional boundary also. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. Now let's take the availability set option. So now tell me, Ashwini, can we create a new availability set or we need to take the same availability set that we have created earlier?
We can take same availability sets.
Mm, okay, so we can take the same, we need to take actually the same availability set. Okay, because if we create another availability set, so what is the purpose of then how we will achieve the high availability then? Okay, if we have just one availability set and then we are placing our servers in that availability set, like multiple servers in that single availability set, then only we will be able to achieve our high availability. Okay, if we create multiple, there is no purpose. Okay, one VM will be part of one availability set, another VM will be part of another availability set. So where we are having the high availability. Okay, so it should be part of the same availability set. Okay, so let's take the availability set 01. Security type is standard only. Machine type, let's take the default one, and we can take the one virtual CPU, and this one is more than enough if we go for Linux one. Okay, let's go by password. The such let's allow HTTP also. Now here we need to keep an eye. Okay. So we need to compulsorily use the same virtual network, okay, in which our first VM was created. If we create another virtual network, then we won't be able to actually use this availability set future. Okay, so it should be part of the same virtual network. Okay, I will explain virtual network. That is a completely different topic and our upcoming topic. But just remember for now, if you are using the availability set option, it should be within the same virtual network. Okay. Now let's go to management, monitoring, advanced, tags, review and create. Create it. Okay. So it is under creation. So we have created a availability set. Okay, if we search for availability set in our portal, in our Azure portal, so we should get that availability set. Okay, so see, availability set is created. So from here also we have an option to create an availability set, and then we can place our virtual machine in that availability set. Okay, so while creation of the virtual machine also we are getting that option, and we can just come over here to the Azure portal, and in the search bar we can search for availability set, and from here also we can create. Okay, that depends on us, how do we want to create. So we have multiple ways of doing the same thing. It depends on our like how do we want to achieve that. Okay, so if we come to availability set, see what it is happening. Okay, so now now see here we have Linux VM1, which is in running state. Both VMs are created and they are in running state. And can you see, like we have fall domain and update domains. Okay, so the first VM is placed in fall domain 0 and update domain 0, and the second VM is placed in update domain, sorry, fall domain 1 and update domain 1. So can someone tell me what is this all about? What is this placing? What is this like placing of servers all about? So what it is happening is, suppose you have your VM1. Okay, let's take what name we have given. Okay, let's go by VM1 only. We have VM1 and we have VM. No, no, not like this. Okay, not like this. It won't. Okay, so we have fault domain. We how many fault domain we have taken? Two fault domain. Sushma, tell. No issue. You can.
I'm saying to
Okay. Yeah. So we have taken fault domain 2 and update domain also we have taken 2. Okay. So that day I told you, although it is 2, but the name starts from 0. Okay. It will be fault domain 0. If we have taken 2, it will be fault domain 0 and fault domain 1. Okay. And update domain, it we have taken, I think we have taken
three,
3 we
three.
have taken. So it will be like update domain 0, update domain 1 and okay, update domain 2. Okay, it will be 3, but the name will start from 0. Okay, so what we have created, two servers. Now we have just created two servers only. So how they are placing? They are placing first VM in fault domain 0 and update domain 0. So where we need to place? We need to place our VM or VM1 over here. Okay, so it is placing your virtual machine 1 over here. And where your second VM is getting placed? Your second VM is getting placed in fault domain 1 and update domain 1. So where this place is fault domain 1 and update domain 1. So it will be placed over here. Okay, it is VM 0, 0, 2. So see, if there will be some rack level failure. Okay, so if there will be some rack level failure and your fault domain 0 is down, okay, your fault domain 0 is down, so in that case also we have our VM0 up and VM02 up and running. Okay, our session will end in 1 minute. Let's rejoin again. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.